Welcome to the wonderful continent of Pantala. Just across the ocean west of Pyrrhia is this massive recreation of the lost continent from Wings of Fire. Over the course of more than a year, I and the rest of the staff team on Wings of Fire: The New World have spent over 300 hours altogether building this massive project for you to explore. And it's about time, too. It was all the way back at the beginning of 2017, just after the release of Darkstalker, that players were first demanding work be started on this mysterious lost continent. In 2018, Book 11 of Wings of Fire: The Lost Continent hit store shelves, and in July of that year, Ebel, the server owner at the time, announced that the continent would be added. Things were promising, with the base of Pantala actually being finished. But, as time went by, nothing. The server at the time was at a low point, mostly being offline and inactive for over 6 months straight. It began to recover at the beginning of 2020, but by then, Pantala was an abandoned project. So, how did all this happen? Well, in late winter of 2022, the Pantala project was reignited, codenamed Birdhouse. Over the course of more than a year, the entire staff team here has worked on building up every detail of this massive continent. Now, obviously something is immediately very wrong here. There are trees. Pantala doesn't have trees. Well, maybe it does. Wings of Fire: The New World takes place thousands of years after canon, so lots of trees have been planted and grown since then, populating the once bare savanna with these acacia trees. But of course, let's take a look at these massive hives that tower over the flat savanna. There are 6 total hives here: Cricket Hive, formerly Wasp Hive; Sundew Hive, formerly Yellowjacket Hive; Willow Hive, formerly CC Hive; Monarch Hive, formerly Vinegaroon Hive; Freedom Hive, formerly Hornet Hive; and Jewel Hive, the only one without a name change. You can also find the ruins of Bloodworm Hive, which was burned down by the Leafwings. The interior of each hive has the same structure, but varies wildly in the details. In the base of each hive, winding and curving tree-stuff walls form this unique architectural style with designated areas for homes, shops, schools, libraries, and whatever else. Between the base level and the main level is a special area unique to each hive. For example, you can find the Temple of Clearsight at Cricket Hive. Above that, every hive has this massive area with an open floor for marketplace and honeycomb tile spaces on the walls. This hexagonal, 3-dimensional, cylindrical pattern took a lot of math and calculation to get right, but it is a grand showcase for the architectural complexity of the hives. Up the floating stairs is the highest level of the hive. This large, open area is different for each hive, but always has this massive hanging chandelier lighting the room. The curved walls contribute to the unique exterior roof of each of the hives. Each of them are connected to their neighbors by long, stretching silk bridges. Built primarily for young silkwings unable to fly, these bridges stretch across huge distances to make traveling between the hives easier. That said, in more recent times, silkwings live in the Leaf Silk Kingdom, which is located on the south end of Pantala. Beautiful forests and beaches surround these leaf silk canopies. To the west, the Hazel Canopy is what was once Cicada Hive. To the east, the Luna Canopy is what used to be Mantis Hive. These beautifully crafted structures are the central points of the Leaf Silk Kingdom. Although these structures are smaller, they are much more intricate and precise as opposed to the tree stuff construction of the hives. The canopies have their own complex interior structure to explore. Delving into the poison jungle, we can find a massive central tree that holds the Leafwing Palace. Hidden in the dense canopy are several beautiful rooms sheltered by the thick leaves. You can access the interior from the upper landing, or the winding stairs from the base of the trunk. It is a lot of stairs. From there, you can make your way to the main level loop, which circles around the tree and allows access to all the individual rooms. All of this has been a massive project to put together, and it would not have been possible without help from the whole team, but Wings of Fire: The Lost Continent released all the way back in 2018. That was years ago. Why has it taken so long to get this project off the ground? Well, one factor is obviously the incredible amount of work required to create this project. Sure, Pyrrhia has been recreated like 4 times, but adding a second continent isn't just doubling the work involved. It's quite a bit more than that. You have the extra complexity of placing a second continent somewhere. I had to deal with this myself when I personally tried to recreate Pantala a while back. Another hurdle is just that Pantala has more centralized locations. Rather than building 7 isolated castles, we have to construct 8 interconnected hives with complex architectural design. These beautiful curving structures are a huge task to put together. Most of what you see here was all placed by hand. No tricks or shortcuts can really be used here. This last one wasn't really a factor in starting Pantala, but it helped us make this project a more complete one. Although The Lost Continent was available in 2018, there are 4 more books in Arc 3 that contain additional important information. If you read all of them, you know that there's a lot more to Pantala than was discovered in Book 11. The Flames of Hope, the last book in Arc 3, was released less than a year prior to now. This Pantala would have been way more incomplete if we had released it any sooner anyway. So, was it worth the wait? I would say so. There are definitely some problems with our recreation, but this is only the first iteration. After all, we're also updating Pyrrhia for the 4th time. The Lost Continent might be releasing now, but it is far from complete. I can't wait to see where this goes in the future, and if you want to help take part in it, I'll have the server linked below.